Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. Today's video is a collab with Kirsty Pickens. I will have her channel linked in my description box below, so as soon as you're done watching my video, make sure you head on over, show her some love, and let her know that I sent you. I know you'll love her content. It's very similar to mine. She does grocery hauls, dinner ideas, recipe videos. So like I said, go check her out, show her some love. In today's What's for Dinner video, I will be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Our dinners were easy to make, budget-friendly, and delicious. So if you're looking for some weeknight meal ideas for your family, just keep watching. For dinner this first night, I made stuffed shells casserole. I saw this on Fallon's channel. It's Moss Family TV. I haven't linked in the description box below. I'm sure you're probably already familiar with them, but if not, I've mentioned them several times before here. I absolutely love their channel, their videos. I've tried several of their recipes. We've enjoyed all of them, and Fallon and her family are just really sweet, good people. So, like I said, I know you're probably familiar, but if not, definitely check them out. So to get started, I am going to boil up some small shell pasta. Really, you could use any pasta that you prefer. I'm going to cook it in some salted water according to the package instructions and drain it and set it to the side. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and mix up like the cheese mixture. In this bowl, I'm adding my ricotta cheese. And a quick note here, I did have the recipe. Next, I'm going to add in the sour cream as well as some shredded mozzarella cheese. And then for seasonings, I'm going to add some garlic powder, parsley flakes, and a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'm going to stir that together until it's well combined. You could also add some grated Parmesan cheese in here. I think that would be yummy. I meant to and forgot, but it was still delicious. Once I've got that mix, I'm going to set it to the side. In this skillet, I've got some lean ground beef that I seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper. I cooked it on medium heat until the meat was cooked all the way through. Now, you could also use ground turkey or sausage, or you could leave the meat out altogether. Next, I'm going to add some minced garlic. You could also chop up some onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, zucchini, add some spinach, sneak some veggies in there if you want. Now I'm going to add the pasta sauce. Use your favorite brand. You could also use homemade. I'm using some of the Rouse, and I'm going to add in a little bit of water. I maybe added about 1/4 cup. Give that a shake and add that. And then I'm going to add this zesty, thick and zesty spaghetti sauce mix. I saw this a few months ago on Managing the Maze. I'll link her channel down below. And I tried it a couple times since then, and we really like it. So I've got that stirred in, and then I'm just going to allow that to simmer for a couple minutes while my oven finishes preheating. All right, so back to the cheese mixture real quick. I'm going to add in my drained shell pasta. I'm going to stir that until it is combined and then set that to the side. So here I have, I can't remember if this is an 8x8 or 9x9. I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. Now, I will admit this recipe halved. This casserole dish was like to the top. So next time if I make this and still having the recipe, I think I would do like an 8x11. I'm going to add in some of the pasta sauce to the bottom of the casserole dish. Then I'm going to add the cheesy shells mixture, followed by the rest of the sauce. And then you see here that I decided to move this to a foil-lined cookie sheet because, again, you could see it was to the top and I didn't want it to boil over. I am going to add a layer of shredded mozzarella cheese on top, and then this is going to go into the preheated oven, and I baked it for about 30 minutes. On the side, I'm going to do some salads. So I've got some bagged romaine lettuce, some semi-homemade ranch dressing. This is just Hidden Valley dry ranch dressing mix along with some mayonnaise and milk. I mixed it up and placed it into the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And then I have this McCormick salad toppings. This is so good on salads. We've got some shredded cheese, crumbled bacon, some croutons, tomatoes, cucumber, and carrots. I'm also going to cook up some garlic bread. I'm just going to cook this according to the package instructions. All right, so here is the stuffed shells casserole. Once it came out of the oven, I sprinkled it with some of the parsley flakes just as a little garnish, and I did allow this to sit for about 10 minutes before I served it. Here is my plate. My husband ate a little bit later than I did. He ate when he came home from the gym. So I've got some of the stuffed shells casserole, the salad, and a piece of the garlic bread. The stuffed shells casserole was really good. We both really enjoyed it. I would definitely make this again. We had tons for dinner, and we had plenty of leftovers for lunch for at least a couple days, I believe. I love stuffed shells, but it can be a little tedious, especially if you're making it for a larger family or a crowd. So this was a great way to have the stuffed shells flavor, but not have to sit and actually stuff the shells. So I would recommend you all give this a try. Again, I'll have Fallon's video linked in the description box below. For dinner the next night, we went to my mom and dad's house. It was my middle sister's birthday. She's just under 2 years younger than I am. And for our birthdays, my parents always let us pick what we want, either to go out or whatever we want them to make. And my sister chose pinto beans and cornbread. So that's what my mom made. First up, we've got the cornbread. Now, my mom said this was, I think she said it was the honey cornbread mix that they get at the Dollar Tree, and it was actually really good. This was my first time having it. Next, my mom made some fried potatoes. Oh my gosh, y'all, these were so stinking good. We took leftover fried potatoes home. They were delicious. Next are the pinto beans. Now, I make pinto beans and fried potatoes the same way that my mom does. I've learned how to make them from her. I've shared how I make them. She makes them before on my channel. I'll link that down below. The only difference this time is that my mom cooked the pintos in the Instant Pot instead of on top of the stove. So here we've got the ham hocks. When mom cooks the pinto beans, she separated out the ham hocks so that if you want ham hock, you can add it. If you don't, you don't. And then we've got some onions, and then they also set out just different relishes. We've got pickled beets, some sauerkraut, hot chow chow, mild chow chow, and then my middle sister and I like mustard in our pintos, which I know some people say they've never heard of that before, but that's how my granny ate them. So that's how we like to eat them, is to have pintos and cornbread along with some mustard and chopped up onion. And then my mom made a meatloaf. I've shared how we make this before. I'll have that video linked down below. And then here's a picture of my plate. So I've got some of the fried potatoes, meatloaf, my pintos with cornbread, onions, mustard, and some ketchup for my fried potatoes. And then for my sister's birthday cake or birthday dessert, she requested pineapple casserole, which I've also shared before. I'll link it down below. It might sound a little bit odd, but we really like it. It's really good with ham especially. And then for those that don't like the pineapple casserole, I had a box of the Halloween Funfetti cake mix and frosting in my pantry that I needed to use up, so I just made cupcakes for everyone else. And it was really nice celebrating my sister's birthday with our family. Dinner was delicious. Dinner the next night was off meal plan. I didn't feel like cooking. I wasn't feeling that great. Nothing major, just my usual fall seasonal allergies were acting a fool. And my husband wasn't hungry at dinner time. So he was going to the gym this night, and he just grabbed himself something after the gym. He stopped at Sonic and got their chicken wrap, and I just grabbed chicken salad chick. So I got their cranberry Kelly on a croissant, no lettuce, no tomato. I love their chicken salad on a croissant, but I feel like the meat to bread ratio is way off, so I always take off the top of the croissant. And then I got a scoop of the classic Carol and their broccoli salad, and that was dinner this night. Dinner the next night was off meal plan a little bit as well. I had some chicken breast thawed, and my intent was to make Amish chicken and noodles, but I didn't get it started early enough in the day. It was supposed to cook in the slow cooker. But I wanted something warm and comforting and filling, so I wasn't feeling great with my allergies, and it was a cool day this day. So I decided to make creamy Italian chicken. I've shared this many times before on my channel. It's a family favorite. I see it on YouTube and Instagram a lot. Some people call it like the Olive Garden chicken. I will link my video down in the description box below. Normally I cook it in the slow cooker. I tried it on top of the stove this night, and it worked perfectly. So if you don't have time for the slow cooker, you can make this on top of the stove. So what I did is I added my chicken breasts, the dry Italian dressing mix, and a little bit of water to a pot. I simmered the chicken until it was cooked all the way through. Now, if you don't want to use the water and Italian dressing mix, you can just use a bottle of Italian dressing. Once the chicken was done, I removed it, diced it up, added it back to the liquid in the pot, added my cream cheese and cream of chicken soup, and once the cream cheese was melted, that's it. You can serve this over pasta, mashed potatoes. We like ours over white rice, and that was dinner this night. A few months ago, Kroger had their pork ribs on sale, buy one, get one free, so I bought 2 racks. I'd placed them both into the freezer, and I had 1 rack left that I wanted to use up, so I decided to make these tonight. I think I've shared this before on my channel, but they're so easy, I thought I'd share it again. Here I have that one rack of ribs. I just cut it in half so it fits in my slow cooker a little bit better. And then I removed the membrane from the back of the ribs. I'm going to use some of the Kinder's barbecue blend seasoning and the Kinder's brown sugar garlic. These two together on ribs is delicious. I'm just going to rub those seasonings on. And then to my crock pot in the bottom, I'm adding a little bit of Coca-Cola. Now, this is one of the smaller cans, and I added just maybe a third of this can. You can also use root beer, Dr. Pepper, or a diet soda. If you don't want to use soda at all, you could use broth, I'm sure. I added that to the bottom and then added a couple drops of the liquid smoke and then added the ribs. And what I like to do is cook it on low for 4 hours and then go in and rotate the ribs and cook it for another 4 hours or so until the ribs are falling apart tender. For the side dish tonight, I was going to make a pea salad, but I had a couple odds and ends in my fridge that I wanted to use up, so I decided to make a pesto pasta salad. Here's what I'm using. I've got some cherry tomatoes that really need to be used up. They were like right on the edge of starting to go bad. And then these little mozzarella pearls. I had about a half of this container. I've got some radiatore pasta that's been in my pantry for forever. And then I had just a little bit of mayonnaise, just maybe about a quarter cup in this jar. And I had a jar of pesto. I got this at the Dollar Tree in my pantry that I've been needing to use up. So great way to use up multiple different things. Let me show you how I made this. To my mixing bowl, I'm going to add in the mayonnaise. Now, I didn't follow a specific recipe. I just eyeballed it, but I'll try to find a recipe similar to what I did and link it down below. Now, you don't have to use the mayonnaise at all, but one, we like a creamier pasta salad, and two, like I said, I wanted to use up what was in this jar. I'm going to add in the pesto and stir it until it's combined really well, and I think the sun-dried tomato pesto would be good in this as well. Next, I'm going to add in my tomatoes and the mozzarella pearls. I halved the pearls and then quartered the tomatoes. And I'm going to season the tomatoes with just a little bit of salt and pepper. You don't have to do that, but normally when I use tomatoes, I try to give them a little bit of seasoning. Next, I am going to give that a stir and then add in my pasta. I cooked this according to the package instructions, drained it, and allowed it to cool. I'm going to mix everything up, and then that's it. Here is what the pasta salad looked like when it was done. I just popped a lid on it and placed it into the refrigerator until dinner was ready. Here's what the ribs looked like after the 8 hours. I know it's hard to tell in this, but these were so tender. They literally fell right off the bone. I'm going to use the rest of this Kinder's mild barbecue sauce. I think I got this at Ollie's, and it's actually pretty good. We like it. So here's what I've done. I lined a cookie sheet with some aluminum foil to make cleanup easier. I laid the ribs out, and as you can see, that other part of the rack, it just fell apart. Like I couldn't even get it in one piece. I brushed some barbecue sauce on both sides, and then I popped this under the broiler for just about maybe 3 to 5 minutes until the barbecue sauce got thick and sticky. And then here is my plate. So we've got the ribs, the pasta salad, and then we had some watermelon that I wanted to use up, and that was our dinner this night. The pasta salad was so good. The ribs were just delicious, and the watermelon was yummy with just a little bit of salt. For dinner the next night, I did not get a picture, but we just had leftovers. I had leftover chicken and rice, and my husband had leftover ribs and pasta salad. That's what we did for dinner that night. For the last dinner in this week's video, we had my little brother over. He turned 14 a couple days ago, and my husband, Gary, really wanted to take him to this like haunted zombie hayride where you shoot zombies with like paintball guns. Sounds kind of fun, not my thing, but my husband has went for a few years and loved it. He's been wanting to take my little brother, but we finally felt like this year he was old enough and would enjoy it. So they were doing that. It was just me and Mr. Happy at home for dinner. So here is what I put together real quick. I have a box of Hamburger Helper in my pantry that I'm going to use up. And then this is some cooked ground beef that was in my freezer. I didn't thaw it or anything. I just pulled it out of my freezer. I'm going to follow the instructions on the back of the box of Hamburger Helper. And by the way, I got this at the Dollar Tree, so it's the smaller box. With that, I have a little individual size thing of peas. I'm going to drain those. And then I've got some white bread. Here is the finished Hamburger Helper. And then here are the peas. Like I said, I just strained those and I added a tiny little pat of butter, salt and pepper, and I cooked them on low while the Hamburger Helper was cooking. All right, so here is a picture of my plate. I've got the Hamburger Helper, the peas, and then the slice of bread. I added just a tiny little bit of butter on it, and that was my dinner this night. that is it for today's video. Don't forget to go check out Kirsty's channel. Again, it'll be linked down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video, that it gave you some dinner inspiration and ideas. If you did, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.